In this video, we'll be comparing the Shure SM7B to the Behringer B1 microphone. So these microphones are pretty different microphones, the Behringer B1 being a condenser microphone and the Shure SM7B is a dynamic microphone. And both of them come in at quite different price ranges as well. The B1 costs around 120 Australian dollars, while the SM7B costs around 800 Australian dollars. So how greatly does the sound differ between these two microphones? We'll get onto the sound a little bit later, but first let's just go over the build quality and design of these microphones. So the Behringer B1 has your more traditional condenser microphone look to it. It looks a lot like a Florian BM800 or BM700 microphone. It looks pretty basic, but it does look nice in my opinion. It's also very solidly built, fully made out of metal, not a single bit of plastic on there. And this microphone also comes in the box with a big pop filter, as well as a shock mount. And as for the Shure SM7B, it's a really nice looking microphone. It's probably one of the best looking mics out there because it's just simple, minimalistic, and modern. And the build quality on this microphone is just like the Behringer B1. Very solid, made fully out of metal. So when it comes to build quality and design, either one is good. But what you're really here for is the sound test. So let me begin with the Shure SM7B. So this is a sound test on the Shure SM7B with its large pop filter. The pop filters don't really color the sound, so I won't be switching that out. But this is what it sounds like about this much away from my mouth, so maybe 2 inches away from my mouth. And this is what it sounds like when I get right on top of the microphone. And let me move the microphone further away now. And this is what the microphone sounds like around a ruler's length away from my mouth. It's probably a little less, but I'll make sure to put the Behringer B1 around the same distance when I do this test. So as you can hear, with a dynamic microphone, they don't pick up a lot of echo, so the Shure SM7B will sound better when it's further away. But as I've always said, it's always best to use your microphone close to your mouth. Okay, now I'm going to be switching over to the Behringer B1 microphone. So now I have the Behringer B1 connected, and for some clarification, both of these microphones have been plugged directly into the Behringer Uphoria UM2 audio interface, which is a roughly 60 Australian dollar interface, so very cheap, but it easily manages to power the Shure SM7B, in fact with some gain to spare. And currently I've got the Behringer B1 around 2 inches away from my mouth, just like I had the Shure SM7B. And the first things you'll notice straight away is the fact that the condenser microphone is just way more crystal clear. It really does sound impressive compared to the Shure SM7B, which is crazy to say because the SM7B is way more expensive. But you'll notice that with basically every dynamic microphone, they will always sound a bit more muted and just a bit more muddy than a condenser microphone. And this microphone I've noticed has really good crystal high end, but it also has a nice low end to it, and I really like the sound of this microphone, especially for the price that you can pick it up. So this is what the Behringer B1 sounds like 2 inches away from my mouth, and this is what the Behringer B1 sounds like when I'm right on top of the microphone, and there might be some slight plosives or breathing noises coming into the audio because there is absolutely nothing protecting the capsule from getting any plosives currently. But this is what it does sound like when you're right on top of it. Now let's move it around a ruler's length away from my mouth. Okay, I've got it about the same distance as I had the Shure SM7B. And the first thing you'll notice is that if you do compare between the Shure SM7B and this microphone, this one has a fair bit more echo. It's not that noticeable, but it is a bit more. But either way, I wouldn't be shooting with either of these microphones further away. If you want to be using a microphone further away, your best option is a shotgun microphone or a pencil microphone. So to conclude the video, what are my thoughts on these microphones and which one would I recommend? Well, I think it's quite obvious here that the Behringer B1 is definitely the better value for money. I mean, for 120 Australian dollars, you're getting such a good sound quality, it's actually insane. This is definitely my favorite microphone for that price range. Most other microphones of this price that are a condenser microphone will only have a small diaphragm, while this is actually a large diaphragm condenser microphone, which gives it that extra deep low end and gives it that extra crisp sound. And it also makes this microphone extremely quiet with very little noise. But these microphones are very different microphones. While yes, they are used pretty much for the same use cases, which is for picking up voice, singing instruments, they will just give you a completely different sound from each other. The Behringer B1 picks up a lot of that sort of sibilance and really picks up a lot of high end to the voice, while the Shure SM7B is really good for podcasts and stuff because it gives a very neutral sound that is also quite low and mid heavy, which means it's very easy for the ears to listen to for long periods of time. While something like a condenser microphone can annoy the ears after a while with the amount of sibilance that comes through, but this microphone is an unbeatable deal and I definitely recommend picking it up. And I will leave links for both of these microphones in the description below if you are interested. Anyway, with all that out the way, hope you did enjoy this comparison. If it helped you out, drop a like on the video. If you didn't, drop a dislike on the video, and remember to subscribe for more videos like this.